section we had a fair value gap just over here. Price over here had a lot of aggressive sellers that failed to move the market lower. This is the first thing I want traders to understand. Just by looking at the delta on the left, we can see a huge amount of aggressive sellers that are not being rewarded. That is the first thing. The second thing to understand is that we had a 1 and a 0 at the bottom over here. It's a little bit small, so I'm going to zoom in. We have a 1 and a 0 at the bottom. What this means, when we see a 0 on one side of the bid and the ask, this represents that the volume has dried up and aggressive sellers have failed to drive price lower. A 0 is a massive sign of a trend reversal. This is something I want traders to understand from the footprint chart. So we use the delta and the volume to predict future reversals at 15-minute fair value gaps. And now once we understand that we had a lot of aggressive sellers within this region, when we hop back now to a regular candlestick chart, we can now begin to look for potential buys. And the reason we look for potential buys is just over here in this region. We see a violation of the most recent bearish fair value gap. If I continue to play price on, it becomes a little bit more interesting, right? So now that we have this region, a few things have happened, right? The first thing to understand is that we have a lot of aggressive sellers in this region that have failed. That is step one. Step two, we've had a violation of a bearish fair value gap. That is step two. And step three, we failed to close below the level after breaking it. This shows that sellers are very much failing and buyers are in control. So from here, we can take a trade at this zone and we can have a stop loss just at this zone over here. So we can take a entry over here, stop loss just below this zone. And where do we want to be targeting as a trader? So our first target is going to be, of course, here for a nice 1 to 2 hour trade just above these equal highs over here. These equal highs are essentially the first target of the trade. So it's a really good scalp you could have potentially taken. Price action on this day was rangy. As you can see, we eventually moved towards our final TP or our final take profit, right? So this is kind of the backbone as to how I'll be trading.